Fairy Tales for Little Children. And this is Miss Caroline reading it for you. And I'm going to read Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, there she is. And what's that there? We'll see. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She always wore a bright green cloak with a bright red hood. I love my cloak. She lived with her mother in a cottage on the edge of some deep, dark woods. Can you see the woods? Can you see the deep, dark woods in this picture? I can. And can you see the cottage? A cottage is another name for a little house. And there are the deep, dark woods. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother gave her a pot of Brussels sprout soup. Take these to your grandmother to the other side of the wood, she said, but remember the rules of the wood. Wonder what those rules are. Can you see them there? There are two rules. One is keep to the path, and the other is don't talk to the wolves. Oh dear. I promise, said Little Red Riding Hood, and off she went. Skippity-kip, skip, skippity-skip, skippity-skip. Oh, what a lovely day, said Little Red Riding Hood. Can anyone see the wolf? Can you point at the wolf? Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood, called the woodcutter. Can you see the wolf? Good morning, woodcutter, called Little Red Riding Hood. Can you see the wolf? Little Red Riding Hood walked deeper and deeper into the deep, dark woods. It grew darker and darker. So Little Red Riding Hood didn't see the wolf waiting for her on the path. The wolf didn't see Little Red Riding Hood either. Little Red Riding Hood stumbled straight into the wolf. Ow! Ah! Oof! What are you doing in the middle of the path? Said Little Red Riding Hood. I nearly spilled my grandmother's Brussels sprout soup. Sprouts? Yuck! Wolves only eat juicy red meat. Little Red Riding Hood had forgotten the rule, don't talk to the wolves. The wolf was about to gobble up Little Red Riding Hood when he had a brilliant idea. I'll eat Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother. And where does dear little Granny live? Asked the wolf. Oh, in the cottage on the other side of the woods, said Little Red Riding Hood. Oh dear. The wolf raced to the cottage and knocked at the door. Tap, tap, tap. Come in, called Grandmother. The wolf leaped into the room and gobbled up Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother in 2 seconds flat. Bony, but not bad. Then he pulled on her cap, jumped into the bed, and waited for Little Red Riding Hood. Soon there was a knock at the door. Tap, tap, tap. Come in, snarled the wolf as softly as he could. Little Red Riding Hood looked at her grandmother and then looked again. Oh, Granny, what big ears you have. All the better to hear you with. Oh, Granny, what big eyes you have. All the better to see you with. Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have. All the better to eat you with. In one bound, the wolf was out of bed and gobbling up Little Red Riding Hood. Delicious, he said, and then fell fast asleep. As he slept, he snored very loudly. What's going on? Wondered the woodcutter. He's eaten the poor old woman, realised the woodcutter. And he snipped open the wolf's tummy. Snippety snip, snippety snip. Oh dear! Out popped Grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood too. Quick as a flash, Little Red Riding Hood picked up some stones and piled them into the wolf's tummy. When the wolf woke up, he tried to sneak out of the door. Rattle, rattle, rattle. But the stones rattled and rattled and rattled inside him. Now everyone can hear me coming. I'll never catch anyone, cried the wolf. Exactly, said the woodcutter. You'll just have to eat vegetables instead, said the Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf was never able to eat another person. Brussels sprout soup. As for Little Red Riding Hood, she never ever talked to a wolf again. And that's the end of the story. There we go. So, you can ask your adult now to make a note in your learning log because you've been listening to the video. Soon you will be a bronze, silver, gold or even a platinum reader. I hope you enjoyed that story. I enjoyed reading it to you. So bye-bye for now from Miss Caroline.